What if preparedness isn't about disasters, but about the systems you rely on every day? Your alarm goes off, the lights turn on, your phone connects, the coffee starts brewing. None of this feels like preparedness until one system fails and everything starts to wobble. Today's disaster class is about understanding risk. Not just knowing that a bad thing can happen, but understanding how that bad thing affects the systems you rely on and how your household vulnerabilities shape the outcome. Stay tuned. You're listening to DisasterClass Podcast by Instinct Ready Emergency Management. Welcome back to DisasterClass, the podcast dedicated to helping you educate, prepare, and equip yourself for life's disruptions. I'm Jason Perez. What does risk actually mean in everyday life? In emergency management, we use a simple formula. Risk equals hazard multiplied by vulnerability and impact. The hazard is the event. Vulnerability is what makes that event harder for you, and impact is how severe the consequences become. A hazard alone doesn't determine the outcome. Outcomes are created when hazards disrupt essential systems and collide with household vulnerabilities. Think of risk like a volume knob. The hazard turns the power on, but vulnerability and impact determine how loud it gets. Essential community systems are the systems that quietly support daily life. These are things like power, water, communications, transportation, healthcare, food supply, and so on. You typically don't notice these systems when they work. You notice them when one fails. When a system is disrupted, impact begins. A power outage isn't the same risk for every household. For one family, it's inconvenient, but for another, it affects medical devices, work, temperature control, and even basic safety. Same hazard, different vulnerabilities, different outcomes. Preparedness isn't about predicting every hazard. It's about understanding how the systems and vulnerabilities interact. If you understand that, you make better decisions before stress takes over. One of the biggest gaps in preparedness isn't motivation, it's understanding how risk actually works in daily life. And so at Instinct Ready, we're launching the Capable Community Course Series, a practical instructor-led program focused on increasing the capabilities of community members and organizations. If you're interested in sponsoring a Capable Community course or workshop, email us at disasterclass@instinctready.com. So let's continue. Preparedness starts with understanding which systems you rely on most, which disruptions would affect you first, and where your household is most vulnerable. You don't need fear, you need clarity. So let's make this practical. Tonight, don't buy anything, don't download any checklists, just do this. First question. What are the top 3 systems your household relies on every day? Is it power, communications, transportation, healthcare? You don't need a perfect list. Just notice the ones that quietly keep your day moving. Second question. For each of those systems, ask one simple thing. If this stopped working today, who in our household would be affected first? This is vulnerability. Not weakness, but context. Are they medical needs, work from home dependents, children, older adults, pets? Remember, different households means different vulnerabilities and different outcomes. Third question. Now imagine one of those systems is unavailable for 24 hours. Not forever, just one day. What becomes harder? What decisions would you have to make? And what assumptions break? This is impact. You're not predicting disasters, you're just learning how your life actually works. This is how risk comes together. Hazard, vulnerability, impact. When you understand how these pieces interact, preparedness stops feeling overwhelming. You stop asking, what should I buy? And start asking, what would this disrupt? That question leads to better decisions, calmer decisions, and earlier decisions. Preparedness doesn't start with supplies. It starts with understanding how hazards affect essential systems and how your household vulnerabilities shape the outcome. Tonight, just notice your systems, notice your vulnerabilities, and think through the impact. That's where real preparedness begins. Before you go, please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss anything. And be sure to drop us a comment, leave us a review, or email us at disasterclass@instinctready.com with any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in the future. Thanks for tuning into Disaster Class. Stay educated, stay prepared, and stay equipped. We'll see you next time. Disaster Class is brought to you by Instinct Ready Emergency Management. The podcast is produced and edited by Jason Perez. Copyright 2025, Instinct Ready Incorporated, all rights reserved.